in the midst of an awful 2025 NFL season campaign for all our guys in red, there are some bright spots, right? Namely, some Pro Bowl bright spots. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to Cardinals Daily. I'm Eddie Law, and I watch Cardinals games so you don't have to. If you're already part of the squad, I appreciate you for being here since day one. And if you're new here, smash the sub button. It really helps out the channel. And the more we grow, the better content we can bring you guys every single day. Bird Gang. The season has been brutal. It's disappointing, exhausting, straight up deflating. I don't even know how many adjectives to throw at it, right? But even in a year like this, a 3-year, injury filled, coach questioning, draft order tracking kind of season, Cardinals still managed to produce two undeniable stars. And today, we're getting them their flowers because Budda Baker and Trey McBride were both selected to the 2025 Pro Bowl. And honestly, they absolutely earned it. Let's break down why these two are not just Pro Bowlers, they're legitimately legends in this franchise. Even McBride already for what he's done. And if we're smart, we'll hang on to him for quite a while. If not forever. Hopefully. Jesus. But I don't trust Bidwell. But either way, that's a conversation for hopefully way down the line. All right. Let's start with the OG. Budda Baker. 8-time Pro Bowler. 7th straight at safety. Baker hitting legendary status as he continues an amazing career. All of it so far with us, the Cardinals. Budda now joins Patrick Peterson as the only other Cardinal to earn 8 Pro Bowls in his first 9 seasons. And when you start putting your name in the same sentences as Larry Fitzgerald and Larry Wilson, that's gold jacket resumes type of stuff, right? In a season where the Cardinals defense has been shredded by injuries and missed tackles, Budda's still playing elite football. 111 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, 5 pass breakups and a pick, second most tackles by a DB this season. And an active streak of 33 straight games with at least 5 tackles. He's everywhere. I mean, we know Budda. He never quits. He flies around the entire field looking to make contact and make a play. He plays through injuries. He plays through turmoil in the locker room and out. He sets the tone in a locker room that absolutely desperately needs leadership right now. Budda is not just a Pro Bowler, people. He's the culture of this team. He's the heart of this team, especially when James Conner's out, right? And he's the standard. He's the standard for what it means to be a Cardinal, especially on the defense, right? And as we begin this rebuild, I don't even know how many re's to throw in there, right? He remains a foundation, even this far into his career. Now, the guy taking the torch, Trey McBride. The Cardinals have found a superstar, right? He's not just a good tight end. He's not just a top 5 tight end. This guy is historic. He's the best tight end in football. I don't want to hear about no Travis Kelce being the lead vote getter for Pro Bowl, okay? I do not care. All right, Trey McBride. Like, if it wasn't for Swifties, right, Travis Swift would not be the number 1 vote getter. No way, not the way he played the season. Again, conversation for another podcast, right? We're talking historic, record-breaking, right? Franchise-defining at the tight end spot type of play from McBride this season. Back-to-back 100-catch seasons for this man. The first tight end in NFL history to ever do it. 109 receptions this season. Third most in the NFL at any position. 4th tight end ever to post 100-plus catches, 1,000 yards, and 10 touchdowns in a season. Broke Jackie Smith's franchise touchdown record. Did it himself. Leads all tight ends in receptions through his first 4 seasons ever. This dude he's rewriting what it means to be a tight end in this sport. If we were a better team, if we were more nationally recognized as a good team, he would be a superstar. The media would have to grab it and run with it. Instead, because he's on this team, the talk isn't about Trey McBride. It's about Jonathan Gannon and Kyler Murray. Plain and simple. Okay? And he's the rewriting of the record books, the franchise record books, almost every single week by Trey McBride. And he's doing it with multiple quarterbacks. Just the same way Larry Fitzgerald did it. Okay? Behind a banged up O-line. An offense with no continuity, no chemistry really whatsoever. Even you can say whatever you want, but Jacoby Brissett, making it look better. It still doesn't look competent. You know what I mean? Argue with the wall on that one, folks. We don't have no run game. It's just him slinging it 50 times a game and hoping for the best. And it hasn't worked at all, clearly, right? But again, McBride, he's a security blanket. He is the mismatch. He's an elite target. He's a safety valve. Red zone killer, all wrapped into one. Cardinals may not have much going on this year, but they hit a home run with this guy. Now let's just keep him forever, okay? When the season collapses like this, it's easy to tune out. It's easy to focus on failures, the injuries, the awful games, the blown leads, the draft talk. But Budda Baker and Trey McBride, man, they remind us that we do have talent on this squad. There are leaders here. There is something worth keeping, worth building around, worth believing in. Budda is a warrior. McBride, the rising superstar. And both of them represent what the Cardinals should be. And look, don't overlook this, okay? Josh Sweat has been named a Pro Bowl alternate. 11 sacks before the injury. Absolutely was killing it this season for us, even on a bad defense, on a bad team with a terrible coaching staff. If he finishes healthy next year, easily Pro Bowler. Easily. There's no way, right? Like, if he's healthy, and of course if we change a few things up on this coaching staff, I think he'd be Pro Bowler for sure. So even a depressing, injury-plagued, just painful season, 2 Cardinals stood above the nose, right? Or the noise. Buda Baker sold the defense. Trey McBride sold the offense. In a season short on wins, they gave us something to be proud, to have pride in. So it's worth something more celebrating. Yeah, it really is, because it's more celebrating. There's nothing else really to celebrate on this, because I got some pretty bad news for y'all. You ain't going to like. The Cardinals officially placed defensive tackle Walter Nolan III and cornerback Garrett Williams on injury reserve, ending their seasons with 2 games left on the schedule. And really, it's hard not to feel bad for these guys, because look, Williams, his day ended early on Sunday. First quarter, we're up 10-0. They're Falcons are driving 3rd and 4, and Cousins hits Drake London underneath for the first down, and Williams goes down to make a tackle, and the Achilles goes. No contact injury, which is honestly the worst kind of injury, although maybe not worse, because if it was a no contact, usually it's a clean injury, if that makes any sense to y'all. Like it's probably easier to repair. There was no awkward landing, just one of those terrifying non-contact injuries that stopped the stadium. We still don't know if it's a full tear or partial tear, but either way, his year's done. And he's dangerous of missing a pretty good chunk of 2026 if it's a torn Achilles. And this is what makes it worse. Williams already missed 5 games this season with a knee injury, and he just hasn't caught a break this year. It sucks for him, it really does. This is a player that we're counting on to be a long-term starter, across from Will Johnson, who's still developing himself. Good instincts, good ball skills, versatility, but the best ability is availability, and he hasn't been able to stay healthy. So that one sucks. The Nolan one hurts worse, because he's a first-round pick. He's a freak athlete. I mean, the guy, they hope that he's gonna, or they're hoping that he's gonna be able to anchor the defensive line for years to come, right? Like kind of like a newer Calais Campbell, right? Or younger, sorry, not newer, younger Calais Campbell. Went down again. Left knee this time. It happened in the 3rd quarter as he helped Zaven Collins blow up a play for a 6-yard loss. And immediately, you knew something was wrong, because he looked devastated from the get-go. The trainers rushed in, the cart came out, and as soon as the cart comes out, you know the season's over. Like, they don't cart a guy that can walk. They don't. Second knee injury of his rookie year. That is going to be a sticking point for the next few years if he continues to get injured. You guys know how this goes with injuries, right? They resurface all the time. So hopefully they take care of him, and hopefully they figure it out. He figures out how to be, available, basically. It's not his fault. Stuff happens, but it just sucks to see the rookie go down like that. Jonathan Gannon said it, right? Quote, "You feel bad for the guy. He didn't see his year going like this, but he has shown he could be a difference maker." End quote. 100%, probably the one accurate thing Gannon said all season, other than it's on me. Him, really. Obviously. But when Nolan's been on the field, right, he's a legit game-changing type of talent, right? Explosive first step. He's got heavy hands. He good instincts, plays the run and plays the pass at a high level, both. But, again, not available. We won't know if he needs surgery until the MRI comes back, but it's safe to say the season's definitely over. And they already put him on IR, so it doesn't matter. Now that we're 30-12, losers of 7 straight, 23 players on injured reserve. 23 players on injured reserve. That's an emergency room out there, right? That's like a mass unit, right? And what does that do? It destroys defensive continuity completely. And if we don't have any chemistry on either side of the ball, you don't have any chemistry anywhere. It forces practice squad players onto the field, and it cripples the development of young talent who absolutely need reps. Man, when Williams and Nolan went down, we were actually competing. We were doing solid in the game, right? Look, the team has heart, people. Heart alone doesn't win you games, right? Effort and result and planning and just everything. All what is it? What is it saying? Right? A lot of things, little things done right. Like that's how you win. That's how you're successful. I'm probably butchering that whole thing. Someone call Ray Lewis. I guarantee he knows it on top of his head. But what these injuries do show us is how much work this front office has had for its offseason. So here we are. 2 games left. Cardinals just watched 2 important young defenders, a potential long-term CB or corner, and a first-round fundamental defensive tackle, get sidelined until next season, at least. It's a reminder of the reality of the season, right? We're losing pieces of the future left and right, and we're hoping they get healthy enough to continue being pieces of the future. And for a team trying to rebuild That's the part that stings the most. It really does. And honestly, it really brings into what we have to do. Like, because look, not only do we have to have coaching questions, right? Not only do we have quarterback questions, not only do we have offensive line questions, but now we have a foundational, structural roster type of questions on the defensive side of the ball. Again, Nolan and Williams out, right? You know, IR. What are you going to do? So Cardinals were already heading to the offseason needing answers, right? Is Jonathan Gannon still the guy? Should they overhaul the training and strength staff after 2 brutal years of injuries? What's the plan at quarterback? Is it Kyler Murray? Is it Jacoby Brissett? Is it another free agent? Is it a rookie? Can this O-line be salvaged, or does it need a complete rebuild? But now, with these 2 guys being out, and being out more than likely for a decent chunk of 2026, we have to figure out how to, maybe not replace, but how to band-aid the, two like foundational pieces, right? And we got to build a roster assuming that neither one of them is going to be ready for the first week of ball. So it's a major shift in team building strategy, and Monty's got his work cut out for him. Okay, look, with Nolan, when healthy, shows up, right? First round type of talent, explosive first step, violent hands, strength to shed blocks, ability to play all over the line, and it looked like a lock, right? That he start week 1 next season. Now we're not sure, okay? And with this defensive line depth chart, like suddenly feeling like a house made of toothpicks. I mean, look, Darius Robinson, right, coming off his best game, still inconsistent. Davon Tomlinson hasn't lived up to expectations and could be a cap casualty, and I would venture to say he will be a cap casualty. Calais Campbell, 2 games left, more than likely the last 2 of his career. LJ Collier, free agent. Dante Stills entering a contract year and a question mark, really. Before Nolan's injury, we already had questions on the defensive line and defense overall all over the place. Now we might need 2 new starters and a rotational piece. A top 50 pick on a defensive lineman felt optional before. Now these injuries possibly could push us towards definitely going for a defensive lineman, which sucks because we want O-line, we want a quarterback, and you don't get a million first-round picks or even second-round picks. So, and with Williams, look, the guy was Swiss Army knife, right? He can be nickel, he could be outside corner, he's good on matchups, he could be run support, he has blitz packages on his for him. He was becoming one of the most valuable defenders on the roster. With him out, all right, Rabbit's going to have to learn on the fly. Taylor Demerson, of course. A bunch of developmental corners are going to have to play. And a possible hole at safety if Jalen Thompson walks in free agency. That is a massive amount of uncertainty. If Thompson leaves, you're replacing 2 starters in the secondary. Can you do that through free agency? Maybe, but Monty hasn't hit on any high level, or not many high level defensive free agents outside of maybe Mack Wilson. No, Mack Wilson was already here. But Josh Sweat, right? Can you do it in the draft? Maybe, but here's the problem. We're going to have a high draft pick, maybe 2 in the top 40, but look at the needs here. Quarterback is a need. Now, is it a need in the draft? Maybe, maybe not. Offensive tackle? Absolutely. Anything on the O-line at this point. Wide receiver depth? We need that. Defensive line? We need that now. Corner? We need that now. Safety? We're probably going to need that if Thompson walks. You can't fix all of that in one draft, especially if it's a trade up for a quarterback, which wipes out extra draft capital. This is where Monty Austin where his strategy is going to get tested, okay? He loves draft picks. He loves young, cheap players he can mold, but can he really justify spending another first-round pick on defense after almost all 2025 draft went that direction? Like, at some point, this offense needs to major help, okay? Especially on the line. And this team needs to protect whoever the quarterback ends up being, whether it's Kyler, Jacoby, Fernando, whoever. This is a balancing act this front office hasn't faced yet and haven't proven they can deal with. Before the injuries, already a critical offseason for us. After the injuries, even more so. Cardinals must now decide, look, the fate of Kyler Murray, the fate of the coaching staff, right? Even the trainers and the strength staff. Obviously, these injuries are an issue. They got to rebuild an offensive line, possibly trade out for a rookie quarterback, add multiple starting defenders, replace or reinforce both lines and the corner unit, all right? Pray that nobody gets injured. Okay, pray that we don't get as injured next season and lose as many guys as we did this year, right? Look, the Nolan and Williams injuries don't just hurt the defense, it changes the trajectory of what we're going to have to do in the offseason. I know it doesn't sound like a huge deal. Everyone believes because they're young they'll be able to come back, but you never know. And not only that, if they come back or when they come back, are they going to be the same guy or are we going to have to, is it going to be different? This was supposed to be the offseason where we turn the corner, right? Even if you don't believe in Michael Baywell, which I don't think any of us do. But it might be the offseason where we have to re-architect this foundation, right? We have a long road ahead here, people. And these next 2 games might be painful, but they're going to tell us a lot about the mentality, the effort, and who deserves to be on this squad. Will we have a new head coach? Will we have a new GM? Will we have, we won't have a new owner. You guys know how that goes, right? That dude's not going to go away. And who's going to be on the squad that's going to be able to make a play? Will James Conner come back at all? And if he does, what's he going to look like? Trey Benson, is a knee a bigger issue than they're making it out to be? Do we have to draft Jeremiah Love? Like, there's just too many questions on this team. You can tell Monty's head's probably running in circles now. So there you go, folks. That's a picture we have now. That's what we have. All right, folks. That's going to do it for this episode of Cardinals Daily. I'm Eddie Law. Don't forget to hit that sub, hit that bell, hit the like, leave a comment. I will see you guys all tomorrow. Bird Gang, I will ride with you guys till the end. Go Cardinals.